Your Total Wine & More store is ready to serve you with our always low prices on an incredible 8,000 wines and 2,500 beers. Want it today? Try our same-day delivery or contactless curbside pickup at TotalWine.com. Whether you're grabbing your favorite beer or pouring a glass to enjoy an evening on the deck, Total Wine & More has you covered. Visit any of our 12 stores in Northern Virginia.
Welcome, readers. Today on Book Chat, we are continuing the 3 Book Bloggers, 1 Series read-along. We're discussing the 6th book in the Night Huntress series, One Grave at a Time by Janine Frost. Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by The Black Cabinet by Jill Watts. It's the Mocha Girls Read National Book Club's June Book of the Month. Visit their website and join in today. Masterfully researched and dramatically told, The Black Cabinet brings to life a forgotten generation of leaders who fought for post-Reconstruction racial discrimination and whose work served as a bridge that civil rights activists traveled to achieve for the victories of the 1950s and 60s. The Black Cabinet is a dramatic, full-scale examination of a forgotten moment that speaks directly to our own. The Black Cabinet is available now in hardcover, ebook, and audiobook from your favorite bookseller. Learn more by visiting mochagirlsread.com. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and welcome to Book Chat here on the Shelf Addiction Podcast. Participate in this book discussion by joining the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. Talk about the series with us there, as well as other bookish topics. I hope to hear your thoughts on this book discussion, and as always, you can find the 3 of us on Twitter and Instagram. The links for everything I've mentioned are below in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, please support this podcast by sharing it with some book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. That will really help me out, and I appreciate you for doing so. The uncut video version of this podcast is available now on Patreon. Join us there for exclusive videos, including this podcast after show, where we get even more candid with our opinions. So if you're at all interested in that, you'll need to come on over to Patreon and sign up. Before we get started, I have to issue a spoiler warning. This is a roundtable book discussion, so nothing is off limits. You've been warned. We've got a fun hour ahead of us, so let's get started. Welcome back to another 3 Book Blogger, 1 Series read-along discussion. Today we are talking about the 6th book in the Night Huntress series, One Grave at a Time. Joining me as always are my 3 Bloggers, 1 Series read-along co-hosts, Casey and Nicola. Welcome, ladies.
Hey, everybody.
Nicola, before we get started, please run down the book stats.
Will do. This was published in August 30, 2011 by Avon. It's about 389 pages, and in the audiobook version, it's narrated by Tavia Gilbert. It runs for about 9 hours and 6 minutes.
Okay, Casey, please hit us with the synopsis.
How do you send a killer to the grave when he's already dead? Having narrowly averted an underworld war, Kat Caulfield wants nothing more than a little downtime with her vampire husband, Bones. Unfortunately, her gift from New Orleans' voodoo queen just keeps on giving, leading to a personal favor that sends them into a battle once again, this time against a villainous spirit. Centuries ago, Heinrich Kramer was a witch hunter. Now, every All Hallows Eve, he takes physical form to torture innocent women before burning them alive. This year, however, a determined Cat and Bones must risk all to send him back to the other side of eternity forever. But one wrong step, and they'll be digging their own graves. Dun, dun, dun.
Wrong step.
Dun, dun. Okay, so before we jump into the conversation, for those of you that are interested in today's after show, it's available now on Patreon. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And of course, you can find us in the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official and talk about the book with us there as well. Okay, let's jump into the thing, guys. Book 6, what did you think?
I liked it. I liked how standalone it was. Like, if you don't want to get into the whole history of everything that's gone on between the vampires and Kat and everything, this book stands by itself pretty well, I think.
You know, I didn't even think of that, but it's completely true. It's like, Yeah, what do you call that? Like a bottleneck episode.
A filler.
Yeah.
Filler, not filler.
I mean, it's not really connected to the underworld, and
I
he's
didn't know
just
if there
this one-time villain.
is there a name for that? I didn't know that. I mean, maybe so.
I just call it filler. I don't know if that's the official term.
I mean, because there was no real, I guess there's a new villain, well, a new situation that we have to deal with going into the next book, but it was pretty isolated overall.
Yeah, you would just need to sort of take on faith the little bit of background on the Marie Laveau's blood situation.
Mm-hmm.
But even that didn't help her that much until the very end.
Mm-hmm. And that was barely. But
they explained that, so you had the explanation. You don't need to see what happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know one thing. As with the other books, this was like brand new to me again. I'm like, oh, what happened in this book? I don't know. So it was like first time reading it all over again.
Yeah, I would say the same for me, pretty much. I did kind of remember the cornfields at the end, but yeah.
Did you think that they were more naive this time or less? Because there's those plot twists that, Kat's the third woman that he's been torturing, and they're just kind of like, oh, shit, really? At the very end. And I was like, you guys, why are you being so dumb here?
They were being a little dumb. Like,
right. Like they were being dumb.
Well, I think they always think that they're the aggressors, they're the heroes, they're the strongest. They never think, oh wait, some ghost would dare come after me, kind of thing. I think it just wasn't even a possibility.
Well,
but he was.
He was what?
There you go ahead.
No,
he was attacking her constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like he kept showing up and he kept attacking her.
Yeah, but it was incited. They thought that they were, you know what I'm saying? They were like poking the bear.
Yeah.
So they thought it was because of what they were doing.
And it didn't totally follow the pattern, right? The cat, the attack on her cat didn't happen until the end instead of right at the beginning. And he never got to her in the same way he got to the other women. Like she wasn't a gibbering mess with a destroyed mind and like all of it, unable to leave. I mean, she was kind of unable to leave, but not exactly, because she could have. I don't know. I could see why they didn't put that pattern together. I didn't actually.
She wasn't alone like the other two women,
right?
That's
right.
True.
But she was sort of trapped in her house, and she just didn't cave in. She just wasn't. She was strong enough, or she already knows about the supernatural, so she didn't think she was going crazy,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I mean, every time he came to the house to like try to poltergeist them or whatever, she comes outside like, what's your fucking problem now? Like, she doesn't even like, so she's not even acting in the same way as those other scared women. So he just,
But I also thought it was just naive of them to not even consider, like the way Kat was so surprised when Bones is like, you're the third. He's been attacking you this whole time. She's like, what? No. What? I was like, come on, girl.
Yeah, she had to think about it.
He's only a ghost. There's only 24 hours in a day. If he's spending a lot of time with you.
Well, she even thought, I think, at one point that as long as he was hanging out with her, that was less time he was spending bothering the
others. Yeah.
The third person that they could never find.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I thought of something that might have been a plot hole, but you guys are going to have to remind me about like what Marie's could really do with, like, did she only have power over ghouls, or did she have power over ghosts as well?
Over ghosts as well.
Okay.
That was the remnants.
So they had that whole, there was a scene where Kat sort of walked through their options, and they're like, well, we could go to Marie, but we're not going to because this and this. We don't want to owe her anything and something else, But the third option seemed to me like we could just ask her to deal with this because she should be able to crush a ghost, right? I mean, wouldn't you think?
In theory, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She should have been able to take him out. And I mean, they ended up having to keep him prisoner, but she could have just got rid of him.
I mean, I guess it never says anywhere what she can do to ghosts, but or if she can do anything to ghosts. But it just seemed like,
well, everything that Kat was doing with the floaty and feeling good and crying to bring the ghosts to you, and ghosts are everywhere around her in New Orleans. Like,
and Marie has that power like times a million, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean, that could have been the entire book.
There wouldn't have been a story at that point,
here,
right?
You take care of this evil monster. We're going to go on our second honeymoon or whatever.
But I mean, that could have created some more conflict between Marie and them. That could have opened some more storylines if she chose to go that route. Because like you said, nothing is for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just seemed like a bit of a plot hole to me.
Mm-hmm.
But again, a hole that would have swallowed the whole book. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, was it just me, or was Don acting real crazy the entire book? It was like he just seemed out of character the entire book.
I mean, I know he's dead, but yeah, no, he's not acting like Don at all.
No.
Not the Don we knew.
He was kind of like, he could have been edited out of this whole book and it wouldn't have mattered.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Well, he did help with the one ghost part. When they found, and he's like, I found you by
it was
just
an extra
looking
clue.
for you.
Yeah, it was an extra clue, I guess. I can't remember if his ghost plays into another one of the stories later on. It must, or they would have just let it go.
Yeah, because it was just weird. I mean, especially when Kat went to the headquarters, and that whole thing.
That's right. That's
true.
That's true. He did have a role to play with Madigan and telling her.
But it wasn't even a really good role. Like, it was just him saying, I'm not going to tell you anything. You just need to be prepared. And that's
which is very Dawn.
Yeah.
I did like that. I did like that scene where she was like, stop doing that. I'm not your employee anymore. You want me to treat you like family, treat me like family, and stop with that need to know bullshit.
I mean, because he supposedly cares for Kat, right? He doesn't want to see her hurt. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't you just say, look, he has access to this. He might be doing that, to help them. I mean, but he held back. And
there was no reason for him to hold back. I didn't get that. So other than that's what he does a lot. But
which I think we're going to get the explanation more so in the next book, but it's it's bullshit. He should have said stuff.
Madigan is going to come back. We're not done. He's not done with us, I think.
No, not even close.
No, not at all.
15 minutes will save you 15%.
Oh God. And I was like, what was that?
Geico.
Yeah. And that was the commercial at the time when this book came out. I'm like, oh God, that commercial.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
That's slightly better than how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Oh my God, I can't even say that.
See, I can't. I'm not even gonna try.
I have trouble believing that would actually work as a way to cover up your thoughts, because you still have to think. You still have to be paying attention to what's going on around you. Like, how can you be processing the conversation you're having while in the back of your mind you're repeating jingles? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know there have been times where I'm saying something and I'm actually thinking something else. Mm-hmm. I've done that before. So...
Right, but then could you layer on top of that thinking something else, like how much wood would a woodchuck chuck in order to...
I don't think so. So if I'm saying, well, maybe that would take the replace. So if I'm having a conversation and in my mind I'm singing the song...
To keep yourself from thinking the other things, maybe,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So maybe that's got to be frustrating to have to keep that up. Yeah, yeah. And then if you're getting upset with people and you're just trying to show up people and talk smack, it's like, how do you hold on to that while you're in the midst of everything else?
Oh, well, it's a paranormal standby, I guess. It happens. It's one of
humans can do anything.
That's right.
They're good.
In fiction. That's why it's fiction.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, even in this book, Tate had his little hero moment Like, oh, I'll come. Casey's rolling her eyes. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh.
I think I did see something over there.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, they had to have him show up again.
He annoys me so
Frost
much.
keeps trying to make us like him again, or like feel at least neutral about him, if nothing else.
Not working. No, it's not working. Nope.
I mean, because there was like zero flirting, zero bad comments. He was just like, forget the past. This is the new improved.
Yes, but I did feel bad that he got demoted. Like, he didn't deserve that. That was shitty. But otherwise, he could have been out of the entire book. Yeah. We didn't need to see him.
It did make me curious what was going on inside the compound, right? So I almost wish that Justina had stuck around so that we could find out more about what had happened. Like, maybe she'd quit later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because she didn't really help much in this book either. She was just kind of there.
Mm-hmm. She was there for humor. You know, like the scene with her and Ian.
Mm-hmm.
When Ian smacked her butt and everybody had to flip out about that. Like, she was there for comic relief, not for any real plot reason.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of an ensemble cast at this point, and everybody needs to get a shout out in each book, whether they really have a plot, whether they really need to move the plot forward or not.
Yeah, which is, I mean, just to contrast with another long-running series that we did, I feel like in Patricia Briggs' series, every time we see someone, they serve an actual purpose.
And we don't have to see everybody in every book.
Right. Mm-hmm. Versus this, where, like you said, oh, everyone needs a cameo.
Mm-hmm. That's a good word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Mercy will mention people, but if there's nothing like going on with the Fae, she's not really going to see Z or anything.
Her cast is so big at this point. It would take half the book to just run through all the characters.
This is true.
And I'm going to make pancakes for blah, 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 and blah, and blah, and blah, and blah, and blah, and blah.
Yeah, kind of like how J.R. Ward does too. You don't see everybody, every book, because you can't. I mean, I take that back. You might see everybody at one of these dinner scenes. You know how she has the little dinner scenes and people stroll in and say hi to each other? That's about the only time where she does that.
Yeah. And it's not usually everybody, but they'll say something like, so-and-so is out on patrol, and, but...
Yeah.
And here we go down the J.R. Ward bridge. I'm going to just stop myself. I'm reeling it back in. Let's move on.
Yeah.
In this book, listen to me being restrained. That never happens.
I also feel like in this book, like it seemed real basic to me. Like, as far as like the plot, there wasn't a whole lot going on as far as to me.
You knew who the bad guy was. He like showed up all the time trying to hurt Kat, and they just had to try and kill him. And that was that. Yeah, it was very simplistic in that sense.
Yeah, you're right. I would say it's not super twisty. It is fast paced. It is adventurous. Like, there's always something going on. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. The plot twists, such as they are, were not super twisty. I mean, the main thing was just that we're used to Kat and Bones both being so powerful and able to sort of outpower anybody that they come across. And if they can't, then they bring in Mankiras, who trumps everybody. But then
he didn't make an appearance this time.
Yeah.
Sorry, speaking of cameos, he stayed out.
Well, he bought something for them. His name came up. He bought the farmhouse where they laid the big trap, or the factory, or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Which I find to be he wasn't there. I find that to be kind of an unsatisfactory ending. Like, I want his spirit crushed out of the plane entirely, because you set a trap, somebody's going to get out of the trap sooner or later.
Oh yeah. Kat's bestie wasn't in this episode, in this book either. And by bestie, I say Vlad. I consider Vlad her bestie.
Oh.
That is who I consider her bestie.
Yeah, he was not in there at all. You're right.
Yeah.
That's because he's off in his world, having his books and doing his thing. If you've read those spin-off series, so
I read at the end of this book there was a chapter from, it must have been the second or third book in the series, because they were Vlad was already married to his woman. So I think it must have been the second book. Yeah. So it kind of hooked me. I'm like, okay, I really want to go back and read this series.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I only ever read the first book in it, I think. It was a giveaway at one of the conferences I went to. So I was like, oh.
What was that guy's name? The medium. I kind of liked his character. Tyler. He was more comic relief as well, but I thought he was pretty interesting.
I loved Tyler. He was loyal and he was brave and he was funny and his
dog was cute, even
and he
if
was
it was
helpful,
ugly.
right?
He was helpful.
Like the burning stage was a big, huge thing, and he's the one that got Kramer's attention in the first place, which again, pretty straightforward. Like, oh, here's a medium. Oh, call this guy. Oh, here he is.
And now he's killing you. Yay, he's actually a bad guy. We're good.
Of course, he's along for the ride because he's like, I can't work here. I can't be here. I need to go with you.
Yeah.
So it's perfect. Now you have a new person in the group.
Yep.
I like him. I also like Elizabeth too. That was fun to have a little second ghost.
I got her kind of mixed up at the beginning with the ghost that sort of is the young housekeeper at Bones's New Orleans house.
Oh,
Isn't she a ghoul though, or is she a ghost?
You're probably right.
I don't know. Maybe she's a ghoul.
Like, what's the difference? I mean, there's a difference, but I'm not sure there's an important difference.
Well, a ghost is
yeah, I know.
Mist and a ghoul is physical.
True.
Ghouls eat body parts.
I know. You can kill a ghoul by decapitating them.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, why couldn't they decapitate Heinrich when he was in his flesh form? Right? Would that work? It works with everybody else.
Light him on fire.
Something about you couldn't hurt him or he would heal or something. But I mean, if you cut off someone's
rip out his throat with her teeth.
Yeah.
I think they should have decapitated him. Just
should have
measure.
Yeah. I would have been okay with
burn
that.
The bones.
Because he's like the worst kind of, I'm like, he's all the villain. Well, that's one thing I do give Frost credit for. Is like her villains, they're really nasty people. Like,
yeah. Yeah. And this guy was based on a real person. I don't know if you guys read that foreword, but that was a real book, and Kramer was at least one of the authors.
What a horrible person.
Awful.
I mean, to like accuse someone of being a witch, take them into custody, and do all kinds of shit to them anyway. It's like, what's wrong with you? You're disgusting. I can't do it. I can't. But he got what he got.
Christian white man.
He's a serial killer.
Yeah. He basically is, which is crazy. Like a serial killer ghost. Serial killer in real life and as a ghost.
You know who he reminds me of? Is the villain in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? That was religiously motivated, and although he only had one target really, but random.
So what did you guys think of Cat and Bones in their relationship at this point? Like, it's been 6 books. They finally trust each other.
Yep.
Like Bones says, they're in a good place.
Yeah.
Nobody's actively trying to kill them at the very beginning.
They are in a good place. I mean, even when it came down to, that scene where they were having this argument that wasn't really the fake fight, but they were kind of still going at each other writing. She's like, write this down. So he really didn't want her to do it, but he backed down. He's like, okay, I mean, this is what you have to do. The old Bones would have just tried to tie her up or something and lock her away, I think. And then she'd have to just run off and do it anyway. But this Bones, he understands. I think they have an understanding between each other now, and it's settled in. So I like it.
Yeah, she used his own words for the argument. Low
Yeah.
blow.
That's a level of petty I aspire to.
Hashtag petty, love it.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. In marriages, sometimes you have to get petty. And whatever, you got to do what you got to do, man. I'm sorry. Trust me on
Use
this
your
one.
words against you. Oh, I will.
Trust me on
I will.
that advice is for free. Okay, y'all. Free advice.
Put that in the show notes, Tamara.
Mhm.
Highlights.
You got it.
No, but they finally trust each other.
Yeah.
And they're communicating, even if it's her writing in a book while he's yelling.
Yep. And she just refuses to take the bait and they predicted it, which was fun. You know, he's going to try to get you off by yourself. You can't do that. And like, well, here's how we have to do it.
Well, let's plan for it.
Yeah.
This is what he's going to do. Let's figure out how to fix it. And I'll cry and call the ghosts. Like,
well, that wasn't, I mean, I thought Elizabeth was going to be able to tag along with her. So the crying was a what do you call it? A
plan.
Well,
backup plan.
Yeah,
Plan B,
improv. Improv is the word I'm looking for. So,
yeah, I don't know. And plus, it's like I think while he doesn't like her doing that, he has to accept that she is not as fragile as she used to be. Like, okay, the woman got set on fire, she healed.
Right.
So while, yes, that sucks that she could be injured, unless someone like cuts her head off, she's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He did admit at the beginning that she's stronger than him. And I thought that was just one of the sexiest lines he's ever said, hands down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, no one likes their person that they love to be hurt, but I mean, come on, take the facts. She's stronger. And it's true, when it came out, you know, after she got finished playing possum, she's like, okay, enough of this. Get out of here. Just, you know.
I like that little jab she took at Ian too, where he was making fun of her landing when she was flying, and she's like, I've been a vampire for like a month. How long did it take you to fly?
Right. Yeah. He's like, point taken. Oh, shut up.
and Bones was like, not only that, she could fly before she was a vampire. So.
Yeah. So there's that. Mm-hmm. She's got skills. So shut it. Mm-hmm.
I did warm up to Ian a little bit in this book. I just, I'm starting to, I don't know if he's different or if I'm just seeing through his jerkiness to the humor that's underneath it. I don't know.
He's definitely changed a bit over the last 5 books. I think that's also Kat warming up to him slightly after all this time. Like, she still wants to hit him and,
I think she even said I think she even said in this book that, she was surprised that he just pitched in and worked hard and helped build that thing in the 5 hours or whatever. Like,
that's because he loves Bones, and she knows that he loves Bones, and she can accept that finally.
Well, in the earlier books, that wasn't totally clear, right? Because he had to renounce Ian to join Mancury's line. So Bones and Ian were not uncomplicated, right? Because also Ian changed him without permission. Like, he didn't want to be changed, and Ian did it anyway. So I think in the earlier books it was not, you look at Spade and you feel like there's no question there, right? Spade and Bones would go to the mat for each other no matter what. I don't know that we felt that way about Ian at the beginning.
No, I mean, they kind of made it seem like Ian really couldn't be trusted. So, like, I'll deal with him, but I don't know if I can trust him as far as I can throw him, kind of thing. You can trust him a ways,
but you're not sure how far, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, as long as our interests align, I can trust him. But if it's something outside of that, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So it didn't feel like as much of a personal bond. It was just more of a, I don't know. But I think that has either it has changed a bit, or we're seeing it better for what it really is, because Kat's mind is opening up a little bit about him.
See, I kind of think of those. Yeah, I agree. I kind of think of Ian as like that that coworker that you kind of like hate, but after working with them for a decade or two, I've worked with them for 10 years. They are what they are. I like them because they have their good things that we work good together.
Here are things that we know he can take care of. Here,
right?
Don't ask him to do.
Right, and he'll have my back if I have a fight with another person in a different group.
Yeah.
But it's still like, okay, it's them. So we have their quirks. We know he's sarcastic. We know he's always going to be talking smack and sexual innuendos. It's just him. Mm-hmm. But you learn to work with them. You learn to appreciate them for what they can bring to the table, and the rest is whatever. That's what it is.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah. And I think that fits entirely because they've been stuck together for 2 centuries now. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of like, yeah, you're Ian. You are what you are.
I mean, if he ever comes and doesn't have something gross to say, I would be shocked. Absolutely shocked.
Do you guys think Tyler hooked up with him that one night that he got left alone?
No, but he would have loved it.
He wanted it.
Yeah. I don't know that I would say no. It wasn't important to the story, right?
No, it wasn't. I'm just curious.
I kind of feel like there would have been something going on in Tyler's head afterward if they had, right?
Oh yeah, we might have heard about it
because he's sort of uninhibited in his thoughts, right? So
I mean, he's talking about people's packages and butts and stuff, and he's like, "Woo!" Like whoa, man! And even Kat's like, "Oh, stop! Oh my God! Like I can't even hear any more of this."
He's kind of, the sassy gay friend. I don't know if I think that's a little bit cliched. Would you guys think it was an okay representation?
It's definitely it's a stereotype, definitely.
Definitely the stereotype, yeah. But I don't think it was
malicious.
Harmful? Yeah. Or malicious. It wasn't.
Yeah. I would tend to agree, and I liked that he was pretty 3-dimensional for a secondary character, right? He was loyal and he was brave and he knew his stuff, right? He was helpful, so he wasn't like this sort of passenger that had to like Justina was in the beginning that had to be sort of just pulled along and taken care of all the time. He pulled his own weight, and he I don't know. I really liked him as a character. I don't know what the community might think of the representation, but I thought he was a positive character.
Yeah, and he definitely wasn't. He went against some of the stereotypes by being so brave and being like, knowing his, like, I feel like if you're going to do that stereotype, like she didn't go as far as she could have went where it would make it bad. Instead, it was kind of balanced with him. I mean, like even when they were in that house and it's like, oh, there's no hot water and they're sleeping on mattresses on the floor. He's like still there.
He's eating Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, he's eating nasty ass Chef Boyardee out the can. I'm like, he was there to help. He's like, I'm not leaving until this thing is done. Yeah. And I could appreciate that. So I did like him. I mean, I had no problems with his character, honestly. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he was flamboyant, but he wasn't like overly feminine in a way that made it weird or anything like that.
Yeah.
And like Ian, he was who he was. And he was unapologetic about that.
Highly sexual, like Ian, and then that's why they might have had a little something going on. You never know.
He yelled at Kat and called her a cock blocker before she took her mother out of there, and then it was just him and Ian. I was like, I need to know, like, did Tyler get some? Because I feel like Ian would give it to him.
He would have.
Yeah, Ian's not known for
doesn't discriminate,
for holding back. So, but I didn't see anything where Ian was that interested. So I guess that's the thing.
He likes the praise. Like, that's not interest, but I don't know. It's Ian. Right. Does Ian need interest?
I mean, honestly, it would be interesting to see if, like, maybe he wasn't, like, because Tyler was, like, kind of vocal and obviously he's looking at him a certain kind of way.
Dear Janine Frost, was there a deleted scene here? Because we need to know.
But maybe that doesn't
Did they do it?
maybe that doesn't do it for Ian. Maybe he only likes it when he knows that he is like someone's clutching their pearls and they're like, oh, maybe that does it for him. So someone who is equally aggressive as he is about, what they want stuff, maybe he doesn't, maybe that's just whatever to him. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could totally see it happening, but it would have been completely feasible in the book to just have a line or two that made it clear one way or the other, to just read something out of Tyler's thoughts or whatever. So,
well, if he did, Kat would be blushing for the rest of eternity.
Or, Tyler wouldn't have to read it out of his head. I think he would just come out and say, thank you, because that was awesome, or something. Once you go vamp, you never go back. I mean,
yeah. But I'm going to say they didn't. I'm going to say they didn't. No, in my gut, I just feel like he was just probably a hot guy. I don't think he did.
I kind of feel that way too, just because I feel like there would have been a little bit of gossip afterwards if there had been.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are right, but I'm just hopeful for poor Tyler because he wanted some so badly. And seeing Bones, Spade, and Ian just,
Yeah.
That's so funny because when he first saw Bones, he was like, ooh la la, basically. And Kat's like, hold on. Hold on.
My husband.
This is my husband. Okay.
I kind of think, and like you guys, I don't remember a lot of the details about the series, but I don't think he comes back. I don't remember seeing him again much in future books.
No, there's only one more book.
Okay.
I don't think
I don't remember him in the last book. I mean, I could be absolutely wrong and be like, oh shit, Tyler's in here.
We'll find out next month.
Right. Yeah. Because I don't really, I just don't remember him.
We need the author to do like an epilogue novella where everybody comes to Christmas dinner and nobody dies, right? And it doesn't get crashed by any evil spirits, but Marie sends a fruit basket.
That would be fun. Or even just like a story showing Tyler in his florist shop being happy.
Yeah, with a couple of ghosts that come, like some of the friendly ghosts that come visit him. Maybe during that would be a neat epilogue just from this book where, all the ghosts that were hanging around I don't know, some, how some of them are looking for a home. Maybe one or two of them hang out with him. I don't know.
Mm. Don't come make a home with me. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want no ghost making homes with me. No, you are not welcome.
I'm afraid of no ghosts.
Outside. I just don't want. Look, it's gross. Like they just come through the wall, be all in your business. No.
That's why you have to create ground rules.
You just have
only touch the hand.
You have a sage flavored candle in your bedroom and in your bathroom. Hope you like the smell of burning sage.
I'll grow to like
better
it.
Than
I will
garlic
grow
and
to like
marijuana.
it. Yeah. Which was dreadful. That's dreadful. That's something I never get used to ever. I hate both of those smells. Like I like garlic in some food, but if I'm just smelling straight garlic, oh my God. And I mean, no hate, but I hate the way weed smells. It smells awful.
It does. It's nasty.
So
especially, that's the whole edible thing is a wonderful
alternative to that
smell.
It doesn't bother other people.
Yes. We don't have to smell it all the day.
I'm the other people.
What about the other ghost hunters?
Other ghost hunters?
The team that was there for 5 seconds.
Yeah, I don't remember all their names, but Chris was the one, the scientist guy in charge, and there was the guy that got smacked, for his thinking shitty things about Kat.
I thought that was Chris.
No, I think it was one of the minions.
Oh,
yeah. He said something about Kat being on the rag.
God, I hate that. Like,
and there was a woman in the crew that verbally
Lexi
smacked him down
or
too.
Katie or something like that.
Yeah, because that girl, after she found out what he said, he's like, "Oh yeah, he deserves that. He deserves what happens."
Smack him down.
Yeah, but I mean, they all were just, green-eyed. So they got their money. They did what they were supposed to do. I think they
weren't.
Yeah.
No, well, unless the government vampires green-eyed them. Cat and Bones left them with
they green-eyed them to tell them that they were going to get money for doing the task. They said at the very beginning when they took them to the cave, because they didn't want any of them finding the cave again or something. Mm-hmm. Bones did that.
I think it was...
I thought they were planning to green-eye them afterward. Like they let them had their memories now.
I don't know.
That's what I recall too. I feel like the green eye thing didn't happen on the page, and we're just supposed to assume that it happened at some point. But that might be a little tiny plot hole because they had to zoom out of there with the Madigan crew.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just thought that they did that or said. I wish I had marked it or something to kind of like just prevent them from going off, because while they are ghost hunters, they don't necessarily know that vampires are real, and they definitely don't want them coming back to that cave again. Mm-hmm. So
I was really surprised that they suggested the cave in the first place. Like I thought that was their spot. Why would you want to put an evil ghost in your honeymoon spot,
your hideout? Yeah,
it's your hideout.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I wouldn't want them in there. Mm-mm. I'm like, this place is off limits now. We can never come back here.
Right?
Well, they have to go back and check on them once. I mean, I don't think that ever happens in the book, but you'd think they'd go back and check periodically or assign a ghost to it. Like somebody just, I don't know.
Hopefully not Elizabeth.
Not Elizabeth,
no,
but
she
some,
needs to have a life.
But some ghost that doesn't have a lot of, like the drunk guy, he could do that. Mm-hmm. From the first book.
Mm-hmm. And Elizabeth does get a life. She gets her little ghostly boyfriend.
Aww.
They're so cute. And of course, Ian's like, hey, I want to stick around for this. I need my education. And Kat's like, no,
Ian being Ian.
You're fine. You know enough. Let's go. You don't need any more education, Ian. Oh, God. He is the worst. He is so funny to me. I do like him, but he is just like that guy. You're like...
That guy.
TFG.
Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to think. I feel like there just wasn't a whole ton of stuff. I mean, like we said, the story was so straightforward.
Read Spades and Denise's book, was this surprising? Or you found out before?
About her
powers.
Oh no, we knew before because wasn't she? Yeah, because she turned into Cat in the one other book. She was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody was surprised that she turned into the dragon. Right. Like nobody knew that she could do that kind of.
But if she could turn into anything, why couldn't she turn into a dragon?
I don't know because I didn't read their book yet, but I think for me the one thing that I always have trouble with shapeshifter magic, I guess, is the difference in mass. Like mass has to go somewhere, and like when in Mercy turns into like a 20-pound coyote from a 120-pound woman or something, and like that to me makes it a little bit harder to grasp. So when you talk about a normal-sized woman turning into a 2-story dragon, I'm like, I don't know. I know that's
magic.
Magic. It's magic.
Magic. You can do anything with magic. And that's like the kind of, that's the crutch. It's like, you don't have to explain it. It doesn't really have to make sense because it's magic.
Yeah, sometimes if you.
But she is constantly eating. So, like, there was that little side note.
And she burns through the calories like no one's business. Mm-hmm. Which I would love that kind of metabolism, please.
Oh, hell yeah!
Can I eat 2,000 calories a day and not gain weight, please?
2,000? That's. That's low.
Girl, I can't eat 2,000 calories a day. I have, wow. Girl. Oh, magic. Can I get some magic, please?
Please, thank you.
Yeah. It would definitely make this quarantine more acceptable. Can Can I not have to work out like a fiend every day?
Well, I'll give you something to do.
Yeah. True.
Speaking of working out, I know, awesome segue. What did you guys think of sex while flying? Working out, I'm
like, okay.
I was reading, I was like, this is the new sex on horseback.
Yeah.
At least there's not a horse there, but yeah. No. I was so bad for the horses in those scenes. Like
I mean, honestly, for flying and sex, like you have on the wrong clothes, girl. You got jeans on and stuff. I'm like, what's happening?
There's too much wind, and I think I would assume that flying requires some concentration, and like I don't know.
I mean, I could just see them trying to like pull the jeans down to like mid thigh or some crazy slot. And then, like, before you know it, the jeans are flying in the wind. Okay.
Oh, shit.
They're gone.
They get stuck around your shoes,
Yeah, right. That is what I would think. Not very sexy, right? But, I guess they can make anything sexy, although I was kind of like, okay, I guess.
I thought it was kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
On the scale of all their sex scenes, it was not top 3.
No.
It wasn't.
No.
It was better than some of the other stuff I've read over the years, but it wasn't good.
Well, I'm glad you kind of opened that door because I had saw like on some of the reviews, like people kind of missed some of the heat between them in other books. Mm-hmm. Did you miss that in this book? Did you miss like the sizzling hot,
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I think that gets old if you do it in every book, Mm-hmm. To me, I didn't mind. I didn't miss it. But
I wanted better sex than the flying sex, but I was appreciative of the fact that their relationship is like at that level where they're happy together and they're communicating and they're kind of out of the honeymoon, but they're still they're solid and for the better and not
right.
Running away from each other.
There was some heat. It was just not as explicit. So
no, it's not.
Like there was a couple scenes like, and then they, fade to black. But
mm-hmm.
I didn't mind that.
Which I'm okay with too. I feel like those kind of books where they're having sex every 2 minutes while they're run from bad guys, sex against the tree, run from bad guys, sex against the wall, run from bad guys, sex in the forest.
Ice in my hair.
Right. I'm like, those kind of situations, they don't really know each other that well, right? Like these people, this couple has been together for a long time now. They are married, and Lord knows you don't have sex like that, like rabbits when you're married. So this is realistic to me. And if you got a quickie in the sky, okay. Okay.
I mean, they were going to try and get kinky with chocolate cake at one point, but that got
but then that got interrupted. And Kat's like, no. No. Like, I had plans for this cake.
So now, I'm tempted. We're talking about sex overhead, and I'm tempted to speculate about things falling out of the sky now. Like, is that bird? Is that what is this?
Oh my God!
It's Sarah falling to her death. Honestly, I thought that was a really easy death for her.
Yeah.
Sorry, jumping to the end. That was
painful. Easy. You get dropped. But painful. You're gonna feel it all the way down.
Yeah. Yep.
But she deserved it.
I think by that time I didn't want more detailed gore. But
no, but I figured Spade would take her off and do something to her because Bones is torturing Kat's dad for the rest of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
so I figured Spade would spend more than 30 seconds killing the woman who shot Denise in the face 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah.
So guess who hasn't been keeping track of the time?
Uh-oh.
Maybe we should wrap this up. I don't know how long we've been talking. And so let's see, are there any more top level things we should talk about, guys? Is there anything else we should hit on before we rate the book? Anything?
I think we covered it. It's a pretty straightforward book. We've hit every topic and every scene, and
maybe not every single scene, but yeah.
most of them.
All the major stuff. Yeah, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's rate the thing, and everybody listening, comment. Let us know what you rated this book. We would all love to know. So, how about Casey? You start. How did you rate One Grave at a Time?
I give it a solid 4 stars. It was a good book, not the best book. It was straightforward, a little slow in the pacing for me, but it's Cat and Bones, and I love them. So
cool. Nicola, what about you?
I would say 4 also. I didn't notice any pacing problems, but just because it felt a little disassociative from the rest of the series, which could be a good thing, but yeah, I feel like it could have been twistier. It could have been, I don't know what was missing exactly, but it's a solid 4. It's a good part of the series. I like the arc of their relationship development and where they're at with their relationship in this book. And it was a fun read. So yeah, I think a 4.
Okay, cool. I too rated it a 4. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was, all the things I kind of expected, and I was fine with it. It definitely wasn't one of my top books in the series, but I had no real big issues with it. It was just a fun, quick read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, if you've been reading the whole series, you might as well read this too.
That's right. You're going to read it.
Yeah.
You're going to read it, and you won't be disappointed. It's a good.
No, not at all.
So.
It's really good. It's solid Cat and Bones.
Yes.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Unless you want Vlad. Unless you're looking for Vlad, then you'll be disappointed.
And you can just go read his book.
That's right.
You just get a whole 4 books about him. Yeah.
Yes. So you'll have to get your fix over there.
Yeah.
It's not here.
So.
Okay. So next up is the final book in series, which is Up from the Grave, the 7th and final book. And we're going to be doing something real fun. So we're going to tell you now, and you can prepare. So when you listen to this podcast, you can be ready to do what we're doing on the podcast. So we are going to be drinking gin and tonics like Kat. We are going to be drinking like our bestie, Kat. And you can do it too.
Maybe not just like Kat.
Oh, no. We're not going to be drinking like that because we'll be like all over the place.
Human.
We're human. We don't have
and you will hear us pass out on the mic, like dropping like flies if we drink like her. But we will at least taste it. And I am not a gin drinker. I don't think I've ever had gin unless it's in a mixed drink. So we'll find out if we like it. I don't know. My plan personally is to go out and find the smallest bottle of like a 5th or something, just in case I don't like it. And at least I have a tonic that I like because I like vodka tonic. So
I'm pretty sure I tried it in college and thought it was awful. But
I love gin.
But I'm sure I was tasting the cheapest stuff that was available on the market at the time. So
no, I'm gonna go get the elusive green bottle that everyone talks about, like the Tanqueray. Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's like a green bottle.
Yeah, I think that's in a green bottle.
Yeah. We'll see. Is that good, Casey? Is that good stuff?
I haven't tried that one. I like the it's in the red bottle.
My friend likes Bombay, which I think is a blue bottle.
Hold on. I have to Google this because I'm...
Okay, so next time we'll bring our bottles in too and we'll show you.
Hey, and if you're listening in the notes, tell us your favorite gin.
Yes, we need help. Tell us and
totally.
Because I mean, I don't know. Is gin one of those things where like you're a vodka or a gin fan, or can you like both?
I know that people are very passionate about which they want in their martini.
Okay. Well, I like vodka martini
or gin.
Beefeater. Oh, Beefeater. Oh,
Beef
Lord,
eater.
that sounds
red bottle.
That sounds kind of interesting.
Okay. Tyler, what do you think?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure Tyler has some words on that, Jen. I don't know. I'm a vodka girl, so we shall see what happens. And my plan is to have my gin and tonic, and then have my vodka over here just in case things go wrong and I hate it. But
I feel like a gin and tonic is going to need a little bit of something else for me, like just some kind of garnish or
throw some juice, like a little splash of juice, just a little splash,
like lime or.
I always put lime in my drinks. It's a must.
I don't know. So we have some research to do.
Yes.
Except for Casey, who knows all about gin.
Yes. Tell us your favorite preparation of gin and tonic. I know you got some tonic suggestions.
No, I don't usually do tonic. I do ginger ale.
Oh, but that's not what Kat drinks. You can't do that. You have to go get tonic.
No, I'll get tonic for this. But my friend and I, we used to make what we call gin squared. And we just pour gin and ginger ale in the glass and chug it.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It was really sweet.
Sounds effective.
It was very effective. Yeah.
Yeah, that's college days was vodka and lemon lime soda, usually generic lemon lime soda. So,
college days for me was Boom Farms. Okay.
Oh, that was
nasty shit. Okay, but you know what? I wasn't a drinker in high school, so I waited till I got to college, and that's cheap. I hate beer. I've always hated beer, but Boone's Farms was freaking cheap, and you would have to drink a lot of it though.
Yeah, the Boone's Farm phase I think lasted one evening for me, maybe two.
No, I was broke in college, so I was doing whatever is cheap, dude. But now you wouldn't catch me dead drinking that stuff. You wouldn't catch me dead drinking it.
Milwaukee's Best was the cheap stuff.
All right. So we're drinking next time.
We are drinking. You guys drink with us. Yes, we won't be alone.
Yes. Post pictures of your drinks.
Yes. And tag us at 3 Bloggers 1 Series. We want to see. And we don't want to be the only ones chuckling real hard and getting, kind of tipsy. So get tipsy with us. Okay.
That's right. Plan ahead.
Yes. So that is it for today. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. And we will catch you next month. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's book chat episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review. You can follow me on Twitter at Shelf Addiction. Most importantly, you can share this podcast with friends and family that enjoy all things bookish, including author interviews. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy reading.
Keep all your entertainment options centered with Xfinity X1. Access live TV, Netflix, and now Hulu and Peacock. Streaming zen. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Go online or call 1-800-XFINITY today. Restrictions apply. Netflix, Hulu, and Peacock memberships required.
Your Total Wine & More store is ready to serve you with our always low prices on an incredible 8,000 wines and 2,500 beers. Want it today? Try our same-day delivery or contactless curbside pickup at TotalWine.com. Whether you're grabbing your favorite beer or pouring a glass to enjoy an evening on the deck, Total Wine & More has you covered. Visit any of our 12 stores in Northern Virginia